Hello, my name is Jim DeMeo, and this is A Course in Miracles. This evening's lesson is Lesson 43. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Perception is not an attribute of God. His is the realm of knowledge. Yet He has created the Holy Spirit as the mediator between perception and knowledge. Without this link with God, perception would have replaced knowledge forever in your mind. We'd never leave illusion. With this link with God, perception will become so changed and purified that it will lead to knowledge. And of course, once we get to knowledge, the approximation of knowledge, of perception, will drop out of the picture, for it will be fully replaced by knowledge. That is its function, perception's function, as the Holy Spirit sees it. Therefore, that is its function in truth. In God, you cannot see. Perception has no function in God and does not exist. Yet in salvation, which is the undoing of what never was, illusion, perception has a mighty purpose. Look, the illusion we're talking about is the illusion of separation. That's what produced all of the drama, ever since the Big Bang on. Made by the Son of God for an unholy purpose, to escape from God. It must become the means, the restoration of His holiness to His awareness. I like that, because we get to correct our mistake, not punished, but the responsibility of correcting our mistake. Made by the Son of God for an unholy purpose, it must become the means for the restoration of His holiness to His awareness. That's what salvation is, the restoration of our holiness in our awareness, becoming aware of the larger I, the bigger self. Perception has no meaning, yet does the Holy Spirit give it meaning very close to God's. Healed perception becomes the means by which the Son of God forgives his brother and thus forgives himself. So, what is forgives? If we have pardon in mind, we're going to miss the whole point. Forgives his brother, of course, is forgiving ourselves. If you understand what forgives mean. Forgives mean that we realize we're one. That we're one with God, one with each other, part of the greater whole, the complete I, the complete self. Healed perception becomes the means by which the Son of God, this is the correction, forgives his brother. Instead of seeing him as separate, we begin to let the Holy Spirit show us how we're one. And thus forgives himself. We begin to see how we're not separate from our source, from each other. You cannot see apart from God because you cannot be apart from God. Whatever you do in Him, because whatever you think with His mind. Look, if we're one, this has to be. We're one in the mind of God. We're one in thought. If vision is real, and it is real to the extent to which it shares the Holy Spirit's purpose, then you cannot see apart from God. 3 5-minute practice periods are required for today. One as early and one as late as possible in the day. The third may be undertaken at the most convenient and suitable time that circumstances and readiness permit. At the beginning of these practice periods, repeat the idea for today to yourself with eyes open. Then glance around you for a short time, applying the idea specifically to what you see. 4 or 5 subjects for this phase of the practice period are sufficient. You might say, for example, God is my source. I cannot see this desk apart from him. God is my source. I cannot see that picture apart from him. Although this part of the exercise period should be relatively short, be sure that you select subjects for this phase of practice indiscriminately, without self-directed inclusion or exclusion. For the second and longer phase, close your eyes. Repeat today's idea again. God is my source. I cannot see without him. Then let whatever relevant thoughts occur to you add to the idea in your personal way. Thoughts such as, I see through the eyes of forgiveness. I see the world as blessed. The world can show me myself. I see my thoughts, which are like God's. If we actually saw what the world or creation is, we would be seeing ourselves, because we would see the unity of creation, not ourselves as separate entities. Any thought related more or less directly to today's idea is suitable. The thoughts need not bear any obvious relationship to the idea, but they should not be in opposition to it. If you find your mind wandering, you begin to be aware of thoughts which are clearly out of accord with today's idea, or if you seem to be unable to think of anything, open your eyes, repeat the first phase of the exercise period, and then attempt the second phase again. God is my source. I cannot see this desk without him. Return to the first phase of the exercises as often as necessary to prevent this. In applying today's idea in the shorter periods, the form may vary according to the circumstances in which situations in which you find yourself during the day. When you're with somebody else, for example, try to remember to tell him silently, God is my source. I cannot see you apart from him. This form is equally applicable to strangers as it is to those you think are closer to you. In fact, try not to make distinctions of this kind at all. Today's idea should also be applied throughout the day to various situations and events that may occur, particularly to those which seem to distress you in any way. For this purpose, apply the idea in this form. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. If no particular subject presents itself to your awareness at the time, merely repeat the idea, God is my source, I cannot see apart from him, in its original form. Try today not to allow any long periods of time to slip by without remembering today's idea, and thus remembering your function. This lesson clarifies a great deal of our human experience, the perceptual experience, the seeing, the hearing, the perceptions giving us an experience. And yet we remember that to truly see, we see with God. And if we allow the Holy Spirit to tell us what we're seeing, then our perception gets corrected now, doesn't it? So we perceive and we relax and say, this is what I'm perceiving. Now let her tell me what it is.